Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. And great to have you on. We thank you for coming on with us. If you can come on live, always a bonus for us. And we appreciate our followers and those who can join us. We understand. Hi, Mike. Not everybody can. And let's see here. Mike is number uno as you get your notifications here from Facebook. Yeah, and nothing scrolling this morning. There we go. Doug, how are you? Sylvia, how is you? Sandy from Vancouver, Washington. Nicole from Sudbury. John, how are you? And Marlo from Ottawa, good morning to you. Nick from our staff. And Chantal saying happy anniversary. Dr. McEwen, Jude from Troy, New York. How are you? Donna, Park Hill. Yeah, 52 years. Sandy, Vanda, PEI. How are you? Beverly, New Brunswick. Jeanette, nice to have you on. Diane, Thunder Bay. Yvonne, Petawawa. Nicole, how are you? Deb from Timmins. And Lisa, how are you? Nativity, good morning. And Wanda, we appreciate ya. And was that Milika from Peterborough? Brahim, there he is. What happened to you, Brahim? Jeanette, thank you very much, guys, for the anniversary greetings. Diane, Anne from Anne. Anne and Peter, they're down in, where are you guys? Thea. And Rita, good morning to you from Wasaga. No swimming this morning. Kevin in the clouds. Brahim. Guys, they're going up in there. That white, I think, is probably not helping. There, Jenny. How are you, Jenny? Sue. And Rachel, good morning to you. And Jeanette, how are you? And, I miss it. Maureen. Doc McEwen was saying hi, too. Okay, let's get going, guys, because I'm missing most of you. Elaine, there you go. Thank you, guys, for the anniversary wishes. Much appreciated. 52 years. I'll tell you, there's going to be a special place in heaven for my wife putting up with me for 52 years. Okay, guys. Dr. Martin, and this question is from Andy. Can you help me with chronic kidney disease stage 5? Yikes. And that's advanced, right? Very advanced. Look, Andy, if I was you, here's what I would do. If I was you. Take care of your kidneys, man. Okay? Now remember, 2 things about kidneys. Now you got your way, are you on dialysis? When you're advanced like that, look, you never give up, okay? You never give up. Do everything you can. 2 big things when it comes to kidneys, Andy. 2 big things. Drink water and lay off the sugar. Now, they're going to tell you, don't touch protein and you got protein problems. Look, I understand why they say that. I just never found it to be the case. It's not protein that damages your kidneys. It's sugar. Okay? It's sugar. So those 2 things, man. Water, sugar. I like Navitol. If you were to take supplements, Andy, Navitol would be the best because it elevates your nitric oxide, helps with circulation even in the kidneys. And there's actually good studies with pine bark extract and kidney disease. Okay? So that's what I would do. That's what I would do, Andy. Patricia with a Z. With a Z. Okay. Between oxidative damage and bad oil damage, which is worse? Well, look, oxidative damage is normal. Okay? You're going to get free radical damage. That's how you age, where we oxidize. So it's part of the aging process. And what I talk about all the time is slowing that down to the extent that we can. Okay? I always make the argument, well, you can't completely slow it down. You can't stop it, but you can slow it down. Okay? So that's oxidative damage. Now, bad oil damage, I made this case years ago. Okay, years ago. I actually wrote about it in one of my books back there, but I can't remember exactly. And I think might have been the Metabolic Reset or the one before that. 2 hormones I want you to. I'm just trying to think now. Okay, so the damage of oils. Okay, the damage of oils is aldehyde damage. And here's what I talked about years ago. When you smoke, okay, actually you accelerate free radical damage. But one of the things with smoking is aldehyde damage in the lungs, aldehydes. And how many millions of people have died of lung cancer because of smoking? Right? Aldehydes. It's an oxidative damage, free radical type of damage, very, very damaging to in COPD and lung cancer. Okay, now, what we found today, okay, because people got the memo about smoking generally. I know there's people that still smoke. And I don't know why they do it, but they do it. Okay? But at the end of the day, most people have got the memo about smoking. Okay? In my generation, when we were kids, my parents smoked. Everybody smoked. My older brother smoked. I went to school and people smoked. Big time. Okay? It was almost rare if you didn't smoke. But even today, here we are in 2024, and you know what the number one cancer is today? That kills you? Lung cancer. Why? Now, I don't know if you're going to hear this anywhere else, but I believe it's because of those seed oils and aldehydes from all those middle of the aisle grocery store products that have those so-called vegetable oils in there. So if you're asking the question at the end of the day, Patricia, what's worse? Well, the seed oil damage is worse because oxidative damage, we all get it. It's part of aging. We're rusting out. Think of the apple. Cut it in half. What's going to happen? Right before your eyes. Oxidation. The same oxygen that you can't live without is the same oxygen that eventually will wear you out and rust you out. Okay? I posted a picture in our private Facebook group for our 50-second. That picture was taken on Rosie and I's wedding night. You can't recognize me. You probably could my wife, but not me. Like you go, who is that guy? Like I can't even recognize him. And what that is what you see here is free radical damage. It's oxidation, right? Look at the movie stars, right? What did I say yesterday? Some of them went from dreamboats to tugboats. True or false? Okay. And Patricia's also asking, do digestive enzymes work to repair oxalate damage? And oxidative damage, no, not per se, because digestive enzymes will help break down oxalates. Okay, but they're not going to repair the damage. That's not what they're for. You're better off with antioxidants to do that. And that would be, like my favorite antioxidant ever is Navitol. I mean, as a supplement. Your body makes antioxidants. It's called glutathione. That's on your side. That protects your body. But you need to, because as we get older, you don't make as much. And if you have fatty liver or you're a carboholic and your liver is full of sludge, you're going to have trouble with that. Okay? And Patricia asked third question. Does the negative effect of nuts, if you eat EMC and then eat nuts, is that negated? No, not really. No, not really. Okay? Now, digestive enzymes would be good to break down the nuts even more and decrease their effect. I'm not big on nuts and seeds except flax seeds. I like flax seeds. Look, I'm not saying you can never have that. But whenever I had anybody with any digestive issues at all, I would have them cut that out. They cut out salad and they cut out seeds and nuts. And the only seed I'd let them have is flax seeds. And I don't like flax oil, by the way. I don't like the oil. It becomes rancid very quickly. Okay? Thank you for the questions, Patricia. Kate. My nephew, 9 years old, keeps having multiple seizures. No one knows why. Okay. When he was young, he had multiple sinus and ear infections and put on many rounds of antibiotics. I've heard and read with kids that putting them on a probiotic can help. Well, you read right. Put them on a broad spectrum probiotic. Kate, you can't get a better probiotic than our probiotic. You just can't. Because of the strains that we choose in the right form and the right amount. Clinically, when I gave out a probiotic, and I did to kids, every kid should be on probiotics, by the way. Everybody should be on probiotics. We live in a world that is so toxic. And, what kid hasn't taken an antibiotic? You hardly ever met a kid ever that didn't take an antibiotic, at least once in their lifetime. That wiped out all their bacteria. You got to replace that. So, I'd put them on probiotic. With a broad spectrum, because the more strains you have, the more effective it is, because different strains of probiotics, Kate, do different things. Okay? And, I would put them on for sure. And seizures, like a lot of times what I found, okay? Kids with seizures. Could be the antibiotics. There's a real connection between your gut and brain. Fix the gut, for sure. I'd have them on Navitol. I'd have them on high DHA for the brain. Okay, Shelley. What are the reasons for miscarriages? Would it not be enough progesterone or too much estrogen? Both. But the big one is progesterone. Okay, and over the years, I got really good results with women who, were miscarrying all the time. And you had to balance their hormones. And when I got their progesterone levels up, they a lot of them had a success. I got to tell you a funny story. Okay. A lady come into our office one time in the waiting room, and the waiting room was full, waiting for, waiting to see me. And she said out loud, "Dr. Martin got me pregnant." And my staff said, "Well, he helped you to get pregnant. He didn't get you pregnant." But she was so happy, okay? But anyway, we had a good laugh about that one. Okay. Cyril, what do you advise for long-term COVID? Get your vitamin D levels up. Most people that suffer from long-term effects of COVID, vitamin D. I was looking this morning, I think I'll post it again. An article back in 2021 that, it was on mainstream too. Good levels of vitamin D, almost nobody would have been hospitalized during the virus. So if you have long COVID, usually I found that your immune system is down, you don't have enough vitamin D. I would have you on eggs, meat, and cheese, doing the reset, no sugar. Sugar puts your immune system to sleep. Steak stimulates your immune system. But the big thing is getting that vitamin D levels up to snuff. I do the hammer. Look, here's the hammer that I use for myself. First sign of a cold or whatever, for me, 50,000 I use 3 days in a row of vitamin D. With K2, of course. Okay. Eunice, is there any value to adding actual ground bones to bone broth? I don't know. Since they have been boiling, well, I don't know about the ground bones, but if you're getting any broth from that, you could add it. I don't know. I've never thought of it. Wouldn't hurt. But I love bone broth. You guys know that. It's the best collagen in the world. The best collagen protein in the world is bone broth. Okay? Fabulous. I've been using it for eons of years. Very high in L-glutamine to fix your gut. All the amino acids, and the nutritional profile is wonderful. Bone broth. Okay. I don't know. Somebody answered that person about ground bones. I don't know. I can't even think of it. But somebody might know something that I don't know. Okay, that was Cyril and Eunice. Oh, that was Eunice, sorry. David, what does Dr. Martin think of methylene blue? Well, just about every week I get asked about it, okay? And originally, here's what I knew about methylene blue. Like, if you had cyanide poisoning, they give it to you. It's FDA approved. What else does it do? Well, it's an antioxidant. It's got benefits. I mean, when you look at methyl cobalamin, like a B12, there's advantages to using the methyl cobalamin. I don't know. Look, here's me, okay? Like, you got to understand where I come from. When you ask me questions, and I do it every week, but it's a good question, David, okay? I always compare. You ask me about a product, if I have experience with it, and I know what it does and whatever. But here's me. I always compare it to what I know works. Okay? So you know, and I say this a lot, you have good, you have better, and you have best. Okay? Good, better, and best. Now, people might disagree with me about that and different things. They get good results with methylene blue. I don't know. I like it, to me, it would be comparable to my Navitol. I like Navitol better because, in my opinion, until somebody shows me different, it's the best. It just has a long track record of and research. It's hard to beat. So I look at products and I go, well, I compare them clinically. Because you have to understand what made us different at the Martin Clinic in a way is we had a real practice with real people, and people came from all over the place to see us. And I had to get results. Otherwise, what kind of a reputation would I have had in practice? You got to fix. Now, and my protocols, my treatment plans, my supplement plans to give people supplements, and I wasn't one to give 50 supplements to people. I didn't do that. But I knew what worked and what didn't. And that was me in practice. So when you're asking me those questions, and I get asked a lot, every week what about this product? Well, what about it? And there's no problem. If you want to take it, take it. I see no issue with it. But when I compare it, I'm sorry, I'm biased about that. Okay, that was David. Kelly, my friend has prostatitis and antibiotics for 2 weeks. What are your suggestions? Well, look, for sure, I've treated prostatitis many a time. My protocol always included probiotics, oil of oregano, high vitamin D. Vitamin D is very good anti-inflammatory, okay? And it really boosts up your immune system. I would use Navitol even because, again, opening up blood vessels into the prostate. So if you're on antibiotics, just make sure you're taking probiotics with it. And then for a couple of good months after, really up your doses. Because you got to replace all that good bacteria that's going to be destroyed. That's the problem with antibiotics. Look, sometimes you need an antibiotic. I'm not against that. Just understand. You're always killing your friendly bacteria with your bad guys. And you need to replace that. And people say, well, wait till you finish your antibiotics before you take the probiotics. I wouldn't do that. I have shown people over the years that it's better to take your probiotics even with your antibiotics and then double up. Some people even triple up their probiotics for a good month or two afterwards, just to replace all that good bacteria. Then you don't get a fungus, you don't get a yeast. And by the way, in a prostatitis, especially if it gets chronic, you know what I found? They got fungus in there. They have a yeast. Not even the bacteria that's the big problem. I'm talking about chronic prostatitis, okay? That's why I love the oil of oregano too. Oil of oregano. Antifungal, antibacterial, antibiotic, you name it. Okay? I love oil of oregano. Thank you very much for that. And that was Kelly. And David, What could cause potassium levels to be above normal when kidney function levels are good? Well, that's good. If they're a little bit above, I don't worry about it too much. It could be heart. It could be because you're on meds. I don't know, David. I don't know your specific case. But if your kidneys are working well, I wouldn't add too much more potassium. Look, you know what, people, it's usually, David, what I dealt with in my practice was low potassium. And, bananas do nothing. You need a lot of potassium, much more than you need magnesium. Almost, let's see, magnesium, what they daily recommended, and for potassium, they recommend 4,500 milligrams a day magnesium for about 8 times more potassium than magnesium is your daily requirement. Now, if your potassium's a little high, maybe just the way you are, and if everything's good and you're feeling good, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I really wouldn't. What I would take, David, because you have what you call the sodium-potassium pump. Make sure you're getting enough sodium, okay? Make sure you're getting enough sodium. It's sort of the antidote to your potassium if it's high. And even magnesium. I like magnesium. Make sure you're getting enough of that, and that should help. But I'm not too worried about it if you're not telling me you got kidney damage. Okay. That was David. Should I continue taking bone broth? I would. Yeah, it's got potassium in it, but I mean, I would. I know, and I wouldn't be worried about that. Wendy, what does a woman in her 60s who is also taking bioidentical progesterone, do they still need to take Dr. Martin's menopause support? Well, look, that's up to you. Depends what your symptoms are, 1. 2, I'll tell you why I like the menopausal support, that I would add even with progesterone. For me, if you're asking. It's got DIM in it, and DIM takes out those xenoestrogens from your body, and you're exposed to it, Wendy, just like everybody else. We live in a world full of estrogen and xenoestrogens. So by taking DIM, or if you want, add flax seeds, and you should be fine if you're, but I like our menopausal formula for that because we got DIM in it. It's so good for you. Okay. Where am I here? That was Wendy. Carol. I was hoping Dr. Martin can explain why iodine causes me breast pain. Carol, you're unique. Well, the first thing I would say, Carol, and I don't know that for a fact, I'm giving you ideas. You might not need any iodine. Okay? And that's the reason why. Iodine is good for you. Okay? I love iodine. It's good for your thyroid. Your thyroid don't work without it, and your thyroid don't work without selenium. And if you're getting breast pain when you take iodine, you might be low in selenium. You're not eating enough steak for selenium. I know you can get selenium in nuts, but it's not near as bioavailable as the selenium in steak. Okay? But those are some probabilities, Carol, okay? Anything I take for this causes me breast pain. Well, I think too, just on the idea of your breast pain, you probably got too much, Carol, estrogen. Okay? You're too much of a woman. Is that possible? Okay. That's why I like Dim. Dim it out. Okay, Sherry, I want to sing, Sherry. How does Dr. Martin feel about omega-7C buckthorn oil? I like it. Has some good research behind it. And here's what I'm going to do again. Sherry, I'm going to compare it. I'm sorry. It's the way I operate. It's good. It's a good oil. But you ain't going to beat high DHA oil. You just won't beat it. The higher the DHA, the more lubricant it is, the more bioavailable that oil is. Your brain is made up of DHA, and you want that healthy fat, and there's nothing like DHA. Somebody else asked the question. Let me do it again, because I might as well do it right now. Taminetla. Oh, Lori, my naturopath wants to see EPA higher in my fish supplement. You prefer higher DHA. What are the benefits of EPA? EPA has many benefits. You see, here's what it is, okay? EPA and DHA are found in the animal kingdom. They are oils, omega-3s of the animal kingdom, okay? EPA, DHA. They're the most bioavailable of all your omega-3s. Okay, so think of omega-3s like different cars on the road. Okay, you got Hondas, you got Kias, you got this, you got Fords, you got Chevrolet. Okay. DHA is the top of all the oils because one is bioavailability. And again, like I tell you, what it does for your heart and brain, your brain's made up of that fat. Okay? You want to be called fathead. It's a compliment. Okay? So EPA is very good. It's a shorter chain fatty acid compared to DHA, which is a longer chain, the longest chain fatty acid. Okay? The longer, the better. Now, EPA is good. As a matter of fact, is it called Vascepa? I think it is. This is a medication that will lower your triglycerides, and it's all EPA. Okay? Very, very expensive as a medication. Well, you can imagine these people spend a lot of money. I think it was an Irish company that patented this EPA, and it lowers your triglycerides. It works. Okay? It's called Vascepa. I remember doing radio shows on Vascepa a long time ago. Well, I don't know, 10 years ago. Anywho, okay? And I like it. I like EPA. We have EPA in our high DHA. We have EPA oil in there. But I disagree with your naturopath. Okay? Not that, I don't think your naturopath is telling you that she or he doesn't like DHA. They're just saying they want higher EPA. I don't know, Lori, if you're using our supplement or not, but you ain't ever going to get, in my opinion, I have never seen one that has as much DHA as that we put in it. It's not an easy process, by the way, to get that done. But again, your naturopath might be talking to you about that to lower your triglycerides, but high DHA will lower your triglycerides too. Okay. I hope I answered your question. Okay. Let me see here. Let's go back to where we were. And Taminetla. Okay, that was Sherry. Cliff has benign prostatic hyperplasia. Big. You got inflammation of your prostate, right? Yeah. And I do the reset. Good for you. I take 1 Navitol. Good for you. 2 DHA. Good for you. 1 probiotic. Good for you. 4,000 IUs of vitamin D. I do see an osteopath. I was told it's rare for men for my age to recover from this. Well, look, here's a couple of things I would have you think about, Cliff. Okay? What makes things grow? What makes things grow? You really have sort of 2.5 things. Insulin, and you're doing the reset. And when you pass the reset, then eat reset-like the rest of your life, Cliff. The best eating is when you emphasize eggs, meat, and cheese, and you can have some fruits and vegetables. I got no problem with that. You can have some plant kingdom. I wouldn't be too big on nuts and seeds, but I'd have you on flax seeds because it's going to lower your estrogen. Now, 1, lower insulin. It makes things grow. Insulin is a growth hormone. 2, estrogen is a growth hormone. In men, prostate, elevated estrogen. Not enough testosterone ordinarily. Okay? So, get to the gym, vitamin E. Stay on the reset. I would add some DIM. Okay? Take it by flaxseed. And, thanks, Clip, for the question. Jennifer. Oh, by the way, lower your cortisol. Cortisol can pour gasoline on the fire of growth, of inflammation. Okay. Jennifer. I have extremely dry scalp. Okay? Not with an itch, but the dry scalp. Dry scalp, leaky gut. You have fungus. Okay? Jennifer, you have a yeast. You have fungal coming out here. Where did it start? Gut. Leaky gut, leaky scalp. Okay? And add oil, lubricate. I love that DHA. And probiotic. And on your scalp, you can add a couple of drops to a shampoo. I would add oil of oregano to kill that fungus. Okay? Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. John. Is it true that vitamin D3 supplements need to have magnesium to convert D3 into its active form? No. I love magnesium. You need magnesium. Okay? But you don't have to take a supplement necessarily of magnesium to make vitamin D work. Vitamin D from the sun, magnesium is there. I get it, but you don't need to take necessarily any extra to get your vitamin D to work so that you absorb it. I understand that, in some ways, that's not a bad statement, but I mean, you don't, look, I got to say it again. You need magnesium for your body to work properly. I mean, magnesium is involved in about 300 things. Okay? You know me in magnesium. And to some extent, it has a cofactor in vitamin D. Yes, it does. But again, I got to take my magnesium, otherwise my vitamin D is not going to work. I don't see it like that. I really don't. You can get in the sun and it'll work no matter what. That's how good the sun is for you. And the vitamin D, you get 10,000 IUs in 20 minutes. But for your body to work properly for almost everything, you need magnesium. And your magnesium levels, most people don't get enough magnesium anymore because it's not in the soil. If it's not in the soil, it's not in your diet. Okay? I've been talking about magnesium for 50 years. Good questions. Okay, so let me just see how many more I have. I answered some of these. Okay, well, you know what? I think I'll take these up on Monday. And we can maybe even do something else with it on Monday, too. We'll see if we get through. Okay. Okay, you have any questions? Okay, so send in your questions, guys. Like, that's what happened here. People sent their questions into info@martinclinic.com. Sometimes they get seen on the private Facebook group, but it's better to be sure to send your questions in to info@martinclinic.com. Okay? Then for sure, we're going to answer your questions. Okay, guys, we love you dearly. Talk to you soon.